Hey my people, I am Chin, and this is Moving Around the World. Today we are diving into China through a journey of 14 places you absolutely need to visit. China is not just a destination, it is an entire world on its own. It is one of the oldest civilizations still standing. A place that shaped global history with inventions that changed how humanity lives, thinks, and connects. But China is not frozen in the past. It is alive, moving, modern, and constantly transforming. For many travelers, a first trip to China usually focuses on the big cities. That makes sense because those cities feel more accessible and familiar. But China truly reveals itself when you go beyond what is obvious. When you accept that the language barrier might slow you down, when you let go of convenience, and when you allow curiosity to guide you. That is where China becomes unforgettable. This video is not about rushing through landmarks. It is about understanding why each place matters. Why each city, landscape, and region shows you a different side of the country. From ancient water towns to massive capitals, from sacred mountains to futuristic skylines, China offers contrasts that very few countries can match. As we move through these 14 places, imagine yourself walking, observing, listening, and feeling the shift from one environment to another. Because China is not something you simply see. It is something you experience. And if Asia is on your travel list, this journey might help you decide where your story begins. Some of the most surprising places in China are the ones that feel calm and timeless. Water towns where canals replace streets and stone bridges connect neighborhoods that seem untouched by modern rush. These places once stood among the largest cities in the world, yet today they feel peaceful and reflective. Walking through these towns feels like stepping into a living painting. Traditional houses line the canals, reflections ripple in the water, and everything moves at a slower pace. These towns are also deeply connected to art, craftsmanship, and design. Classical gardens built with intention and balance invite you to stop and think. Every element has meaning. These spaces were designed not to impress, but to restore the mind. Then there are cities surrounded by mountains and lakes, where old towns still thrive. Cobblestone streets, colorful markets, and traditional architecture reveal layers of history. Some of these cities were once capitals of ancient kingdoms, and that legacy is still visible. Pagodas, temples, and historic landmarks rise against dramatic, natural backdrops, inviting you to explore both culture and landscape at the same time. China has a unique way of moving you between extremes. In a short distance, you can travel from dense urban life to places where time feels paused. That contrast is where many travelers fall in love with the country. As the journey continues, China shows its raw, natural power. Deep gorges carved by massive rivers, towering mountains capped with snow, and landscapes that feel almost unreal. These are places where the earth itself feels alive. Narrow trails wind along cliffs, rivers roar below, and small villages cling to the mountainsides. These destinations are not built for speed. They are built for presence. Hiking here means slowing down, listening to water, watching clouds drift between peaks, and respecting the scale of nature. Even if language becomes a challenge, the experience remains universal. Nature speaks clearly without words. These regions reveal a side of China that many people never expect. They show that beyond cities and history, China holds some of the most dramatic and beautiful natural scenery on the planet. And for travelers willing to put in the effort, these places offer moments of connection that last a lifetime. As the journey continues, China shows its raw, natural power. Deep gorges carved by massive rivers, towering mountains capped with snow, and landscapes that feel almost unreal. These are places where the earth itself feels alive. Narrow trails wind along cliffs, rivers roar below, and small villages cling to the mountainsides. These destinations are not built for speed. They are built for presence. Hiking here means slowing down, listening to water, watching clouds drift between peaks, and respecting the scale of nature. Even if language becomes a challenge, the experience remains universal. Nature speaks clearly without words. These regions reveal a side of China that many people never expect. They show that beyond cities and history, China holds some of the most dramatic and beautiful natural scenery on the planet. And for travelers willing to put in the effort, these places offer moments of connection that last a lifetime. Then the journey shifts again, this time into cultural contrasts. Cities where Eastern and Western influences exist side by side. Streets where ancient temples stand near colonial buildings, luxury boutiques, and modern entertainment districts. In these cities, history is layered, not separated. Portuguese tiles sit next to traditional Chinese architecture. Old religious sites share space with casinos and modern shopping centers. The blend feels bold, alive, and intentional. It tells a story of trade, influence, and adaptation. These places show how China absorbs outside influences while maintaining its core identity. The result is a unique cultural mix that you feel in the food, the architecture, and the rhythm of daily life. Walking these streets helps you understand China's global connections without opening a history book. China also offers landscapes that feel almost otherworldly. National parks filled with towering stone pillars rising through mist, forests wrapped in clouds, and valleys carved by time. These formations look like something from a dream, covered in greenery and surrounded by waterfalls, rivers, and deep ravines. These environments have inspired poets, painters, and filmmakers for centuries. Being there feels immersive. Every viewpoint reveals something new. Silence becomes part of the experience, and the sheer scale of nature humbles you. There are also valleys filled with crystal-clear lakes, reflecting shades of blue, green, and turquoise. Places so clear and calm they feel sacred. Even knowing that rare wildlife lives nearby adds to the magic, though simply standing in these landscapes is enough. China's natural diversity often surprises visitors. It challenges the idea that the country is only about cities and history. It shows a richness that reshapes expectations completely. Some cities in China have been celebrated for their beauty for over 1,000 years. Places built around famous lakes, peaceful pathways, temples, gardens, and tea fields. Cities designed to slow you down and invite reflection. These destinations feel poetic. The way water reflects bridges and buildings, the way people move calmly through parks, and the way nature and architecture blend together. These cities were created for balance, and they still offer that sense of peace today. From there, the journey leads into rural landscapes surrounded by limestone mountains, quiet rivers, and open fields. These areas invite exploration by foot or bicycle. Flat paths allow travelers to move slowly, observing farmers, villages, and daily life. This version of China feels deeply human. It is simple, visual, and grounded. You do not need major attractions to feel connected. You only need time and openness. China is also home to places of deep spiritual and cultural importance. High-altitude cities surrounded by mountains where ancient traditions remain strong. Palaces, monasteries, and sacred spaces reflect identities that have survived centuries of change. Visiting these places requires respect. They show that China is not one culture, but many cultures coexisting within a single nation, each with its own language, beliefs, and rhythms of life. There are also cities that once powered global trade. Historic centers along ancient routes that connected Asia to the rest of the world. Walled cities, archaeological discoveries, and remnants of empires remind you how deeply China shaped global history. Walking these streets is like walking through time. You feel the weight of decisions, trade, conflict, and ambition that shaped the modern world. The journey ends in modern icons. Massive cities filled with skyscrapers, lights, art, shopping, and non-stop energy. These places represent modern China, global, ambitious, and forward-moving, where tradition and innovation exist in constant dialogue. And finally, the capital. A city with thousands of years of history, imperial palaces, monumental squares. and ancient walls that still define its identity. Walking here means standing at the political and cultural heart of the country. These 14 places are not just destinations, they are perspectives. Together, they show China as a country of depth, contrast, and complexity. If you are planning a trip to China, save this video as a guide. And if you have visited any of these places, tell me which one left the biggest impression on you. Subscribe to the channel, share this video with someone dreaming of Asia, and turn on notifications for more journeys like this. I am Chin, and this was Moving Around the World. See you in the next one.